So I want to show you guys a little bit more about fermenting chicken feed. I'm no professional by any means. I've been doing it for a few months and it's working out really, really well. Excuse me. What I've been doing for my fermented chicken feed is I started out with just using the organic layer pellets. And that's what I've been using for all of these years that I've been having chickens, is organic layer pellets. It is super important to me that I know exactly what's going into my chickens, therefore my eggs and my meat. So the organic part was very important. And then the prices just kept going up. And when you're paying $42 for a 35-pound bag of chicken feed and they eat 7 pounds a day, that adds up quite a lot. So now I'm using a mixture of organic layer pellets and what they call a Hawaiian grain mix. It's not made in Hawaii, it's not made for Hawaii, it's made from Purina. All of them are. All of the chicken feeds are. There's a lot of people who over the last many months have had a problem with Purina, saying, you know, makes my eggs or makes my chickens not lay eggs or something silly like that. It's just not true. Gosh, that might have been like a year ago that rumor was going around, but it was a heavy rumor. A lot of people believed it. And at my place of occupation, I'd have so many people calling constantly, I need chicken feed that's not made by Purina. Girlfriend, they're all made by Purina. Anyways, rant over. So I've been doing a mixture of the two. The Hawaiian mix is not organic, but the reason that I am trying it out is not just for the price, but because when you ferment a feed of any sort for people or for animals, it increases the availability of the nutrients inside of it, and also it gets rid of bad bacteria as well. So essentially by fermenting it, you're feeding the good bacteria, and it is therefore also getting rid of the bad bacteria that are inside the feed. So hopefully anything bad that might be inside of there could possibly maybe have fermented right out of it. So that's what this one looks like. It's a mixture. It has all kinds of sunflower seeds, corn, milo, striped sunflowers, peas, millet, something else I'm not sure, but it also has little pellets in there too that probably supply the protein. I'm going to show you a step-by-step of how I go through this process each and every day. I just take my strainer on top of a clean bucket. I just wash out the buckets every day. You can just do that with a hose, just a quick rinse does just fine. And then I put the strainer on top and I just scoop the feed right in there. I'm not trying to get rid of all of the water, just a good portion of it. Then I just put it into a different bucket and do it again. Word around town is that when you ferment your chicken's feed, that the amount of feed that they consume goes down by 20 or 30%, and the amount of eggs that they lay goes up by 20 to 30%, therefore increasing your cost per pound quite significantly. And I do have to say that has proven to be true with us. I go through a lot less feed doing it this way. And also I went from an average of 12 eggs a day to an average of 18. Sometimes I get a little bit more. And of course, every day is different because not every chicken lays an egg every single day. They take turns, it seems, sometimes. You're probably thinking, but Tiffany, that looks stinky. It's fermented. It's not that bad. In fact, I don't even really notice it that much anymore. I just noticed it for the first day or two. But then again, I'm also really used to smelling the kombucha I drink all day, every day, and that's got a fermenty smell to it, so maybe I'm just used to it. So this takes me between, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes to do this every day. I'm just moving it around to make the water drain out. That's all I'm doing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, these birds love it. They're waiting. So now let's make a new batch. This we're going to use to make our new one, and we're going to rotate. Move this bucket over, so this one is the one I'm going to use tomorrow. And then the next day. And then we'll put that one there, and it will ferment for 3 days. The amount that you use will depend on how many birds you have, how big their yard is, and also I guess how fat your chickens are. I don't know. I am at 1.5 scoops of each right now, except for today, because I just ran out. I'll use a little more of the other one to make up for it. This bucket is less than half full right now with solids. I'm gonna go ahead and add the brine that we strained out, and that's going to already have a lot of the bacteria that we're looking for continuing the fermentation process. And then I'm gonna top it off with water. You pretty much want to have at least the same level of water they do feed. So if the feed is to here, you're gonna want to come up, the same distance from the bottom of the bucket, basically. Just make sure it's all nice and loose. It didn't get all clumped up at the bottom. That's pretty much all there is to it. Now, tomorrow we'll have our fresh bucket that's been there for 3 days, and we'll do it all again. So really, the only drawback that I can think of is if you need to leave your farm for any reason, you'd have to make sure that your farm sitter knows how to do it. Otherwise, it's really easy peasy, and it's just part of the daily routine. If you have any questions that I can't answer, please go over to the Fermented Homestead. She has a video dedicated to fermenting chicken feed, and she is a lot more savvy with the fermentation than I am. I'm just learning. I'm gonna go ahead and just get these washed up. All I do is rinse them off. If you don't have a sink in your chicken coop, just use your hose and make sure everything gets rinsed off really well. Otherwise, this gets caked on there quite easily. So make sure you just rinse it every day, and it will always be nice and clean for you. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Hamakua Homestead. I'll see you again soon.